also realised two important points. I'm about to talk to you about private health insurance, and I stand between you and a buffet lunch. So probably not as popular as what I would like. Just as other sort of form of background, I've been a registered nurse for a period of time, but I've also worked predominantly in the public and then more recently in the private sector. So many of my colleagues say that my career has just been a series of progressions towards the dark side, and turning over and working for private health insurance was the final straw. Saying that, insurance does get a bad rap, and I'll comfortably stand here before you and actually say some of that is well deserved. What we've seen, particularly in Australia, is the growth of for-profits, which means obviously there's a growth for shareholder dividends, and that's been at the expense of members. And often what we're seeing is premiums have continued to rise, but the benefits or claim benefits haven't seen those same sort of increases. And these are just a few of the many headlines that get splashed across the page. So I really just want to talk to you briefly about our position, our product, and also about our people. So Emergency Services Health is actually only 18 months old, but we actually have got an 80-year history, and that's because we're backed by our sister fund, which is Police Health. So my role sits over both, and we're part of the Police Health group. We're actually based out of Adelaide, which is almost unheard of to run a business out of Adelaide these days, because it's normally on the eastern seaboard, east of South Australia. But we were established in 1935. We have over about 55, now that's closer to 57,000 members across Australia. And we have what we call our recent survey, which was an externally validated customer survey that goes across all private health insurance. We had a member satisfaction rating of 98%. Now, Emergency Services Health is a lot smaller and is what we call a restricted fund. So as I said, we've only been running for 18 months. We now have just hit 800 members. Majority, about 40% of that members, are people that work within the ambulance industry. The other people that make up Emergency Services Health as a restricted fund is people that work in fire and emergency rescue, whether that's metropolitan or country, what we call water rescue, Surf Life Saving Australia, but also any health professional is eligible to apply. Keeping an eye on time and listening for rumbling stomachs. In terms of product, we're probably a little bit different to a lot of other private health funds in that we only really offer one product, and that is we offer top cover in terms of extras, top cover in terms of hospital, or top cover in terms of both. And we've chosen a deliberate strategy to do that. And so by the default of having top cover, that means we're not the health insurance firm for everybody, and that's fine. But what we didn't want to do is to go down the route that a lot of other insurers have gone, which is about the rise of the policies with exclusions. And I'll share a story that was only 2 years ago when I was the CEO at a community not-for-profit private hospital in Adelaide. I had the unenviable job of meeting with a couple who just had a baby. And the reason why I say unenviable was because this couple had taken out private health insurance because they were planning to have a baby. Normally the waiting period, for people that don't know, is around 12 months. They thought planning was going to work out well. She got pregnant very quickly. She also had the baby 6 weeks early. So she was 5 days out from the cover being effective. And I won't name the fund because I don't think that's fair, but a significant fund basically refused to honour payment, which left this family facing a significant bill from their private hospital experience. Now the company was in their right to do that because that's the risk, but what it really struck home for me is the fact that people, by having policies with exclusions, create these risks at a time when it's either critical for them in terms of their thinking, or also when it should be quite a joyous occasion. I'm glad to say we came to a very equitable arrangement for the family. So what I've also done is the proof's in the pudding, I say. Now, this is Queensland because we've just done this exercise, but we've completed the process for all the other states as well. There's just too many slides to put up. And really what I wanted to show was we compared ourselves against 23 other extra products, and Bupa Platinum Extra, which is our comparative policy to us, we're about 26% cheaper, and we pay about 33% more in terms of benefits. Also in terms of Medibank Top Extras, we provide nearly 40% more, and we're about 7% cheaper. The third one I've just put up there to just demonstrate some of the differences with pricing. So we are more expensive than the Bupa Gold Extra by 2%, but you actually get about 61% more in terms of benefits. One of the things that we've focused on as a fund, because we deal with a lot of first responder communities, is mental wellbeing. So we changed our definitions around counselling and psychology to broaden it, which now allows members to actually claim a higher rebate. And more recently, we're just about to change over to online swiping for psychology services. And the way that our manual system was structured meant that we had to make a decision around the benefit. And what we went with was ended up upping the benefit. So 98% of our members either receive the same level or a higher level of benefit than what they currently do when we switch over to an automated, as opposed to what often happens is reducing the average benefit. The other things that I think we're quite proud of is we don't have an excess. We don't believe you should be penalised for using your private health insurance when going to hospital. We don't run a co-payment system. We don't have any exclusions. So sorry, gentlemen, if you take out cover, maternity is included. We also cover all treatments and procedures. So we don't exclude certain coronary procedures. We don't exclude hips or knees. We have 100% ambulance cover across all states within Australia. And that's a given. And more importantly, it's your choice. So you get to choose your provider, you get to choose your hospital. A lot of funds will have outreach provider services. We haven't gone down that route. We've stuck to what we're good at, and that is insurance. So principally, it's all about your choice. But the money spinner, I said money shot once, and then someone reminded me that's probably not a good term to use in a presentation, is the rollover benefit. So we're the only fund that offers this in the whole of Australia. And what that effectively means is, I'll use glasses, seeing I'm wearing them. If I don't use my allocation for my glasses this year, and I wait till next year, the full amount of that benefit rolls forward to next year. So I actually get 2 years worth of benefit. So it means I can buy fancier glasses and better lenses. That applies across virtually all of our extras. So if you've got kids in dental, and orthodontics, there's obviously a good opportunity there. So what the other differences in terms of our sort of people and priority, we are exclusive to emergency services. So that is only for the people within that first responder community, but also family members attached can join as well. I do stress that we don't have shareholders. So whatever we make in terms of the benefits from premiums goes back into the business. We don't have any, and from a national perspective, what they call your management expense ratio, which is your cost to deliver it, we're on average about 3% lower than the national average, and each year our premium increases have been anywhere between 5 to 3% lower than the national average premium increase. Obviously, I'd love to say we've got friendly local customers. We run everything out of the Adelaide office. And we often have people coming in presenting to staff on a regular basis that come from within those communities. So this week they had a fire rescue come and present to staff. So it gives the staff an understanding of the environment that our members work in. In terms of retention rates, we've got 92% retention rate, which is very high. And I've talked about our member satisfaction rating. But the figure that I think is really important is 90.3% of all the contributions, so what you pay in premiums, is actually paid back to members. Now that's an average as well, which means there are members that actually get more benefit back than what they've paid in, and some that have obviously take less. The other thing is we had the highest Net Promoter Score, NPS. For those of you that don't know what a Net Promoter Score is, basically you have to score 9 or 10 out of 10 to be considered a promoter, and what that means is someone's rated you and considered that they would talk about you at a barbecue to say that you're a good fund. The nearest fund to us, which was another member-owned fund, was 40, and then two of the bigger funds have NPSs of -18 and -25. So it gives you an indication of where we sit. But more importantly, don't take my word for it. There's a stall stand outside with information brochures and also online forms you can complete. Otherwise, take the time to give one of our customer officers a ring, or I'm here over lunch and for most of today if you wanted to catch up and have a chat off-site. So thank you for the opportunity to present. I appreciate health insurance is not a sexy topic. I also realise if I have a stroke, I know I'm in the right place right now. It's the best time to have a stroke, whenever there's best time. But thank you for the opportunity, and hopefully I can speak to some of you this afternoon. Thank you.